Right, you masters. This is Some-Belgian-prepper, and before we start, uh, talking about 10 ways to stay in a physical shape and health for a prepper, I want to talk about this. This book I wrote. It's first of an 11-part the detective series. If you're interested in it, it's called Bloody Crosses. Look in the description below. So let's get on with the video. 10 ways to keep your health, your physical in shape for a prepper, because this is very important. Because in the end, you can have any tool that you have, but the most important tools are your body. So you have to keep those in shape. And yeah, in this day and age, with all the technology that we use, and yeah, the lack of movement that we got, and the stress and the burnouts, and the bad processed food, those are all things that we that kind of destroys our body, not always in the direct way, but in long term especially, and not only in the body but also the mind. So what can you do to keep a little bit in shape? Because I want to talk about something that you can do in everyday life that everybody can do. Because a lot of preppers, they say you have to do this kind of fitness program, or you have to do like the military, go to stay in shape. But yeah, human bodies are not built for this kind of extreme and high cardio arrest kind of living style. So this is my top things that I do to keep a little bit in shape, so well physically as mentally. So what do you can do? First tip is just walking. Just you do not have to jog 3 times a week just to say that you keep in shape. Just walk. And I mean, walking, you can do several things to make it not boring, because a lot of people say, oh, walking, that's kind of boring. As a prepper, you can do several things to make walking more fun and beneficial. Just like something like walking your dogs, scouting your surroundings, try out your bug out bags and those things, and walk to certain destinations, perhaps instead of taking a bike or how do you say this, a car. And you will get a little bit in shape if you do some more walking every day. Next thing, manual tasks. What do I mean by that? We live in a world where every household has dozens of machines that will do what used to take hours, will do in minutes. And I would advise to get a little bit more into manual task and tools. Like I do, instead of a washing machine, I use my washing clock. And that's not only to do the laundry, but it's also a little bit physical. So in a way, that's kind of a little bit of a fitness fitness for myself, with a washing clock and the washing board, those things. And yeah, in the meanwhile, you can watch TV or do something, listen to a podcast or something, and that will also keep you mentally busy. But what I want to say is, do not do every task with a machine. Just get some manual machines. You do not always need perhaps you can do it even during chores. If you need to cut some wood, you can do it with a hand saw instead of just taking an electric saw. And yeah, there are several machines. Or you can do the washing your plates instead of a dishwasher. You can wash your dishes just with the hand. And I know it takes time, but it's if you all do all these things, like again with everything else that I'm going to call, then you do not even need to go to the fitness anymore, and you will keep a little bit in a healthy way busy, and keep your body a little bit in shape. All right, next thing, take the stairs into instead of elevators. If you go into a building, try to take the stairs instead of those how do you say this, those machine escalators, or just the elevators. Because yeah, those are little bit of fitness exercise that you can do through the day. I know it takes time, I know it takes effort, but by taking this time and effort, you will make a routine. You will also adapt mentally to it, instead of going stairs. at the more you do it, the more you keep yourself in your mind busy from I can do this. I do not need to that elevator. So that's another thing you can do. Um, and another thing is what I do not do, or what I always take away with a grain of salt. Diet tips from professionals. You have to take this with a pinch of salt, because you hear always you have to do this diet, or this is a superfood, or you have to do eat this, or you have to eat in those intervals. I call bullshit on that. Not because they will have a point. I know everybody will have a point, but it's too specialized. This is not what humans are made for. Humans are made for to eat when they get a chance and when they are hungry, uh, and not just on regular intervals. Because a lot of people eat because it's noon, it's dinner time, or 4 o'clock, or whatever time that you eat. Even if you're not hungry, people are mentally, how do you say this? Um, what is the damn word? They are positioned in a mindset that they have to eat on that moment. But then you take in extra calories, and that's not good actually, because yeah, you take more calories, you gain weight, and that way you get fatter, or you get into a mindset that if there is no food, that you will think, I need to get 3 healthy meals a day. That's not good. And yet again, with diet tips from the professionals, they say you have to eat this, you have to eat that, don't eat gluten, don't eat fat, all those things. Humans uh, humans in certain areas in the world do not have this kind of very varied diet. Think about the Inuit in Arctic circles. They mainly eat, some of those tribes only eat meat from fish and something else that they catch, and no plants. And yet again, in Australia or something, they eat certain types of food that are nowhere else. So yeah, people are omnivores. They are made to eat whatever they can get, and they are not something like the pyramid is just a scam. Is a scam made by corporations to sell more products. So don't be blinded by all those professional tips. And yeah, I would say I would say to listen to your body, know what your body, feel what your body needs, or what it feels like it's needing. Eat some vegetables, eat some meat. Just be in balance. That's just a good rule of thumb. Just eat in balance, and eat the food groups in balance just whenever you got, and get your nutritions, and get you, and don't eat too much calories, so you don't get too much obesitas. All right, next thing is, I know, and by the way, I know that certain people have certain diet restrictions, or because they are allergic to some things, and that's again part of the balance, by the way. Next, don't get fooled by the fitness people. This is yet again like the health professionals with their diet. There are also these kind of fitness professionals, and they say you have to do this exercise. You have to run 5 miles a day, or jog every 3 times a week, or you have to go to the fitness and do this kind of special exercise to train a certain muscle that you actually almost never use. So I would say to those people, just do everything, just move constantly. You do not have to do all the movements that you do in a week in just 3 hours of pure hardcore fitness, because that will put a strain onto your body and your joints, and that's actually not good. If we look at certain peoples in other cultures, like tribe people in Amazons or something else, these people do not exercise, these people do not go to the fitness, and yet they are sometimes in better health than we Westerners are. So take a good look at those people, how they do daily life. And it's because, like I said before, they do a lot of manual tasks instead of relying on machines and be so efficient as possible. And yet again, this is the same thing with the fitness people. Just exercise constantly a little bit on a low level every day, instead of doing pure hardcore fitness programs for 2 hours a week. All right. Next thing, this is something that I do. I only eat when I'm hungry, and I'm not talking about hungry when you're peckish. There is a certain thing that I have. My metabolism is, I don't know how other people's are. Some people can keep eating and stay thin, but my body is, if I the smallest thing that I eat, I can go on for it for long. During a hike of 87 kilometers in a rough terrain, I only ate one of those. Let me say this. These kind of emergency rations in 3 days, and I walked 87 kilometers with it. So my metabolism is very efficient in that way that I can do a lot with a little food. Problem is, if I eat more, or like most people, I will gain weight very fast. That's because I'm now a fat bastard, actually. So yeah, that's the problem. You have to eat what you need, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, try to watch a little bit about how much calories you get inside of you. And yeah, I know for some people they will need more, but then yet again, try to get everything in balance. So that's another tip to stay a little bit in health. Another thing that I do is to fast from time to time. This is another thing that I do, because if I eat something big, like let's say I'm going to a snack bar and I eat something like fries with something with meat. That's a lot of calories. But if I eat too much, we all have this feeling that you feel a little bit tired. That's because you take in more calories than your metabolism needs, and your metabolism says, "Oh, let's wait a little bit. We have too much calories, so let's make him tired," and you get tired. So that way, after such a moment, I always try to do some fasting. That could be just like one day, or skipping 1 or 2 meals, and that way I use up the calories that are still inside before they get turned into fat, or mostly getting into fat. So that's something that I also do. You can do this too, and you can also train your body that way to need less food. If you sometimes skip a meal, I do not say that you have to go 40 days without food. I just say try to skip a meal sometimes. To not go try to not to sin by taking a cookie, or taking an ice cream that you see on the way back home or to work. Those are things that you can do to fast, to get not tempted, to get your a little bit mentally adapted to being hungry, is actually the kind of word, because being hungry can keep you a little bit sharp, and it can also give your body a little bit more time to process the food that it already had. And it's also good for the toilet, because you do not have, some people I've seen have to take a shit 3 times a day because they eat so much, or constantly. So yeah, that's another thing you can do. um, Another thing is, the next thing is mensana in corpore sanos, which is Latin for a healthy mind in a healthy body. Yeah, I find this very important, because um, you everything the psychological can get into the physical. That's a certain medical word. How do you say this? Psychosomatic symptoms. Those are things that went into the mind can go to the body. And if you want a healthy body, you have to have a healthy mind. Just try to get as stress free as you can get. Try to avoid conflict. Try to avoid things that will make you unhappy. Do not say that you have to avoid it all the way, because that's another stress you get, because you're in stress because you want to avoid certain things. There is more a way of avoid the stress that you can avoid, and try to accept the stress that you can get every on a daily basis. And yeah, if you can accept it, that it is part of life, and try to not to get too much focused on the bad things. That way you will have a more healthy mind, and that way you have a more healthy body. So that's the next point is humor. Humor is, in my opinion, one of very important things. It's helps you relaxed. It gets you, like I said before, a healthy mindset. upon the things, because laughter, humor and laughter is actually to 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 take look at bad things and make them relative to a certain degree again. So it's something to make of a bad situation something positive. So humor, always try to be humorous. And even if you look at humor of other people that you perhaps do not appreciate it, try to look at it from their perspective, or don't get bothered, because that is something that I personally hate, and that is when people tell jokes and other people cannot laugh with it because they had a bad experience with it and take it too hard or too personally. So yet again, don't take jokes from other people too personally unless they mean it or they do it to attack you. So humor, very important thing for your mind and for your body. Next thing, take take a bike. This is just like the walking, but if you're going to a shop or to a family members or whatever you need to do, take you something with you. Try to take a bike or a cart by foot instead of the car, because yeah, you should not only save on gas, but you will also get some exercise and some fresh air, and yeah, train some of your muscles in a way that is not too hardcore fitness, like I said before. So yeah, that's very important. Next thing is try to use less technology. What do I mean by that? We all are more dependent on technology, and I'm not talking about machines per se in this context, but I'm talking about technology like something that will distract you from daily life. I'm talking about binge watching Netflix, gaming, or television shows, things that you sit in a couch for hours staring at something that is not helpful, unless I can understand something that you can learn from television, but yeah, to spend hours and hours just watching some football for example is one of those things that is that can be detrimental to your body uh, on a long term health situation, and also for your mind, because you will get some stress if you are by some situation not be able to go to a certain place, to your home or to a certain routine, and you think, oh, I'm gonna miss that show, oh shit, I want to game so hard, and that can be stressful into your life, and that will get into your body. So try to be less dependent on this kind of technology. Try to just read. This could sound stupid, but something like read a book in the garden, or try to something to break that routine, or to not to be dependent on a show. If you really want to watch a certain show, though you are being chained to a certain hour of the day that you could possibly do something else, or you get stressed by not being available at that certain topic moment because of television. So that's something that I do not try to do. I admit sometimes I have these situations that I think, I really want to watch that person on the YouTube or something. But yeah, I have learned to accept it. Yet again, exception is yet again a stress reliever. Next thing is try to go over your limit on a physical, mental, and comfort zone level. This could be a little bit in contradiction with what I said before, but I'm talking about getting out of your comfort zone on a small scale. I'm not talking about going to climb a mountain, or to run 100 kilometers in one piece, or something that will break your body or something. I'm talking about just trying to get out of your comfort zone. If you feel a little bit tired, try to still try to go for that walk or ride with a bike to your work. If you see that it's rain, try to not stay inside. Just get a raincoat on and get to wherever you were planning to go, instead of sitting inside of your house, instead of waiting till the rain is gone. Those are the small things that you can do. And yet again, with the technology, if you are dependent on watching a certain show, try to make your mentally clear that you do not need it, so you do not have the stress of missing it. I think this is called FOMO, fear of missing out. Yeah, yeah, whatever. Try to not to be dependent on that comfort zone and try to get sometimes a little bit out. You do not have to do this always and go further and further, but always sometimes go up, down. So you have some sort of switch between comfort and getting over your limits, is what I'm trying to say. Next thing, very important, sleep. This is something that many people in the West lack, and this is yet again because of our we work ourselves to death because we are dependent on technology. Yeah, we all have that binge watching, or that we stay up to watch something on the internet or whatever, and we get too less sleep. Sleep is very very important, and I'm also talking about be sleep on a normal on a not normal on a more healthy way. Some people are dependent on sleeping tablets, or perhaps even alcohol or something else to get them to sleep in a certain way. So that's also a bad habit, because if you do not have those chemical impulses in a way, or those habits, and you miss them because you're somewhere else, then you cannot sleep. And in a survival situation, every hour of sleep that you can fetch is very important, and that it happens on a natural way, and that will be good for your long-term health, for equal your body and equal for your mind. Next thing is use natural foods with less chemicals. Uh, yeah, the thing is, I'm sometimes guilty about this because I eat sometimes on a regular basis eat processed food, but the I noticed I feel the best when I eat foods that were kind of whole. If I'm thinking about just something simple as rice with vegetables, a little bit of something like olive oil, instead of something like TV dinners, or something that is processed and chemical, or some something that is made into a factory with a lot of chemicals, or things that are not always in high concentrations in certain products, like something with a lot of sugar, caffeine, those things. Try to eat more healthy, because if you eat, even if it's less, it doesn't feel that well, or it has less calories, it will have certain have the nutritions, and you will have that feeling of I want to eat more, but I'm already full. Because with processed food, the problem is you get more calories in smaller packages, but because we humans have always were evolved to eat a lot with less calories, the problem is now we have smaller portions with more calories. So even if you have your calories and your nutrients with modern foods, you will need more of it, so you will eat more, you get more calories, you get fatter, and that will be bad for your health. So yeah, that's something that you need to get more into balance. It's better to be a little bit hungry than to be constantly full and get some health problems in the long term. All right, next thing, be hygienic, but not too much hygienic. What do I mean by that? We all have these people that are dirty pigs that just do not wash, get dirty, and yeah, we all know somebody like that. But there is the opposite, and that is people who are too healthy. I'm talking about people who wash every time after they go to the toilet. I'm talking about people who scrub with three kind of soaps, cleaning products, shampoos with their body, and that way the natural wax of their skin goes off, and they are more susceptible to infections, diseases, and yeah, we all know people who are more hygienic are more susceptible to bacteria that they do not get in contact with, and the same thing goes for the people who are too dirty. They have more chance to get in contact with part of dirty particles. So yeah, this is something that you need to get in balance again. Don't be too dirty, but don't be too hygienic as well. I'm running a little bit out of time here, so I will go quickly. Next thing, spend quality time with family, friends, your lovers, children. Humans are natural social beings, to say. We feel mentally and physically better when we're around people. So make time to hang out with friends, neighbors, family, friends, your children, bond, and you will be happier, and your body will know it. And next thing is practice bug out and evacuation scenarios. Sometimes it's happy. It's I mean not happy. It's sometimes it's good to have that to simulate a situation. Like when you say today I'm going to out of the blue just start doing a bug out exercise and try to simulate the stress. You do not have the time to prepare anymore and just go for it. And that way, that's a kind of healthy stress that you simulate yourself so your body and mind get accustomed to it in case there is a real situations, because that's why the people in the military train for it constantly, because their body and their mind has to be adapted to suddenly stress situations, and that way you can control it in a way that you do not get too much stress. So yeah, I think I'm done. So these were my tips for getting your body a little bit more healthy. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, I would appreciate it. Like, if you got any other tips to keep your body more healthy on a natural way, leave it in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, all those things, and watch in the description for my detective series book. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Cheers.